So, hello, Afra and Pramod. Good evening and welcome to class. So, you haven't attended any of the sessions. Okay, you have joined recently. What about you, Afra? Okay. So, we have had many sessions. We have been having classes since last 6 months. So, you can just go through the previous recordings and have an understanding through that. And in case of any doubts, you can just clarify. Alright? So, what topic we are supposed to discuss today is the monopolistic competition. This is a sub part of a very big chapter, that is the market equilibrium. Okay, Afra. That's good that you are reading the textbooks. You should refer to it actually. So this is like we have discussed about the different types of market structures, and now we are we are discussing about the equilibrium in different market structures. Like there are basically 3 to 4 types of market structures which exist in every market. Okay, so the first one is the perfect competition. You have any idea, Afra or Pramod? You have any idea about the market structures? Perfect competition, monopolistic competition, monopoly. You have any idea about it? Oligopoly? No? So Afra, can you just share your piece of knowledge with the class? You can just write what you know. Okay. Good evening, Darshna. Welcome to class. Okay, so Darshna, today we are discussing about monopolistic competition. Okay, we have discussed about perfect competition, the equilibrium in perfect competition. Then we discussed about equilibrium under monopoly, and now today we are discussing about monopolistic competition. Monopoly and monopolistic competition, the graphs are almost similar, just with little bit of variation. Okay, so it won't be too difficult to understand. Afra, you're not able to hear me properly? Am I properly audible to others? Pramod, Darshna, can you hear me properly? Afra, is this fine now? Well, I don't think there should have been a problem, but still, now is this better? Yeah, that is what you can do. You can relog. Okay. So, what is a monopolistic competition? Darshana, can you just tell me something about this? Pramod, even if you know something about this. Mm, it's like kingdom. Monopoly means monarchy type of a thing. Okay. Product which has only one supplier in the market. Yes, two of you are very correct, but this is not applicable to monopolistic competition. Right now we are talking about monopolistic. competition, not monopoly. Monopoly is a separate market. It is a market in which there is one seller for a particular thing. Okay, that is monopoly. Right now we are talking about monopolistic competition. Afra, is it fine now? Okay, so Afra, you have any idea about monopolistic competition? What is it? What type of a market structure is that? Can you just tell? Um, okay, no. This is little confusing. Monopoly and monopolistic competition. They sound similar, but they are different. Okay, monopolistic competition is a market in which there are few sellers and large number of buyers. Okay, there is not one seller, but there are few sellers, and the products which these sellers offer, uh, it is like the products are differentiated. Okay, they are similar yet differentiated. Each product has its own speciality. Each supplier's product is different from the others due to certain features. To some degree it is different from the other person's product. Okay, that is monopolistic competition. This is the type of market which actually exists in our society. Okay, like if I talk about face creams, the beauty products, that is a monopolistic competition. There is a brand in the name of Fair and Lovely. Then there is Himami, there is Pond's, there is Vaseline. There are so many different companies. They all are offering the same thing, like they all are offering face creams, but their creams are slightly different. They are marketed under different brands, and there are some variations in their products. There may be some features, like one cream may be having one ingredient, the other may be having the other ingredient. Yes, through radio, through television, through internet, there are different means to advertise the product. So that is a monopolistic competition. The best example is the mobile industry. We have Samsung, we have Nokia, we have Sony Ericsson, we have Apple. There are different companies, and they all are offering differentiated products. Nokia Lumia is a smartphone, Samsung Galaxy is a smartphone, but the two are different from each other. There are certain features which make them different from each other. Okay, so that is monopolistic competition. So it is a type of market structure which is there. Can you give me some example of monopolistic competition? Means the market structures where you find it. Hello. Just a minute. Hello. Hello. हवा भी है. Hello. बस एक गाने. बस एक्चुअली एक मिनट, एक सेकेंड. Hello. Sorry for that. It was an important call. Actually, it is Holi festival tomorrow here. So, like people are calling from all parts of the country, wishing each other. That is why. Alright. Let's just continue. So, monopolistic competition, we were discussing about that. So, the example was soap. Yeah, thank you, Afra. Same to you all also. So, monopolistic competition, the first you said soap industry. Yes, soap, creams, powder, basically consumer durables which are there. That is all a example of monopolistic competition. So let's just proceed. Is the PPT uploaded at your end? The next one. Okay, at my end it's not uploaded yet. Yeah, now we can see. So let's see what is the nature of the monopolistic competition. It is high profile firms with recognition brands. Yes, this type of a market is normally seen in the brands of which are offered in the market operate under this market condition. They sell similar products. Branding and advertising. Yes, this is a market in which the branding is the advertising plays a very important role. In this the major portion of the profit is eaten up by the advertising, because advertising is done on a massive scale. People, big celebrities are hired, they endorse the product, so lot is paid in the marketing. So differentiated products as superior, unique aspects, like this cream is having turmeric, the other cream is having rose water. So that is the difference. They are unique aspects. Shampoo that we use, conditioner that we use, soaps, creams, even clothing, footwear. These are all examples of monopolistic competition. So the people who operate in this industry, they are attracted by the supernormal profits. Supernormal profits is the profit which exceeds the normal profit or return from the input factors. This is something that we have discussed previously when we were discussing about supernormal profit has been discussed. It is basically profit beyond the normal limits. Okay, so this is one thing that attracts people to enter into this type of market. People means the producers. Okay, so what is the assumption? Just a minute. So what are the assumptions? The size and the number of the firms, relatively many but some small, means there are large number of firms there, but they are small in the size. Barriers to entry means entry into the market. Like there are certain norms which a producer has to follow if it has to operate in that industry. like it has to get the license from the government, permission from the government. Then there are some other formalities also which they need to do. So in this kind of a market, the restriction is little less. It's not so high. So people are little, there's some liberty to them to enter into the market. The producers can easily enter the market, and they can even easily leave the market when they feel like. Then consumer sovereignty means the domination of the consumer is really high in this type of market. So consumer is the king. So the producers will make whatever is being liked by the consumer. The consumer will not accept any substandard thing. Now the whole market, whenever we are discussing about the market structure, there are two structures, like short run and long run is there. So this market also has got short run and long run. Darshna, what is short run? What is the difference between short run and long run? Can you tell me? No, not that, Darshna. Short run is the time period in which it refers to a short run period. It can be a week, or it can be a week, or a month, 15 days, 10 days, whatever. Okay, so that is the short run period. And long run means more than that. Yes, it's basically on time basis that we categorize the markets, not on the basis of the revenue. Okay, so that is and the long run is the time period which is beyond 1 month. It is basically something beyond a year, and short run is something within a year. All right, so now let's see how the graphs looks like. This is the demand. This demand means the demand curve of the market, and it also depicts the average revenue. Average revenue means the revenue which the firm is earning from its sale proceeds. So these sale proceeds depend on the demand. The more the demand, more will be the sale proceeds. So we can use demand of the market and average revenue curve as synonyms for each other. Okay, they can be used interchangeably because they mean the same. Whatever will be the demand, that will give the revenue. So whatever is the revenue, that is the demand for the product. So this is the demand. Then this is the marginal revenue. Those who are new, to them I'll just explain in short what is marginal revenue. Marginal revenue means the addition to the total revenue. Okay, first of all, what is revenue? Pramod, Darshna and Afra, can you just tell? No, revenue means the sale proceeds. Okay, it's not profit actually. Profit is the revenue minus cost. Revenue means the sale proceeds. Like if I am selling 10 pens for 30 rupees each, so my revenue is 300. Okay, 10 into 30, so 300 is my revenue. So revenue means the sale proceeds. So what is this marginal revenue? MR stands for marginal revenue. Marginal revenue means addition to the total revenue due to one extra unit. Like when one more unit of a product is sold, what additional revenue we are getting, that is the marginal revenue. Like I was selling 10 units. I was selling 10 units for 10 each. So my revenue was 100. And then I sold one extra unit, means I moved from 10th to 11th. So I got my revenue now rises to 110. So that 10 is the marginal revenue which is there. The difference between the previous revenue and the total revenue. So that is the marginal revenue. Now this is the marginal cost. Marginal cost also means the same, means addition to the total cost. Pramod, are you able to understand this? Okay. Now next is marginal cost. Now marginal cost means this red curve. It means addition to the total curve due to addition to the total cost due to manufacture of one extra unit. Okay, that is marginal cost, and that has also been explained with the help of the graph. Like right now you are seeing just the graph, you are just seeing how the shape of the graph. In my previous classes I have explained in detail how these graphs are made. Okay, like with the help of the table, with the help of a schedule, we have discussed how the graphs are derived and how they are plotted on the graph paper. Afra and Pramod. So this is since this is just a continuation to that, so I am not explaining it in detail. Alright, so this is the marginal cost. Now for a firm to be in equilibrium, there are certain conditions, like there are certain conditions which needs to be fulfilled. So the first of them is that the marginal cost and marginal revenue must be equal to each other. Then the second is the marginal cost must cut the marginal revenue from below. This is very important. The marginal cost must get the marginal revenue from below. So over here you can see this is the graph of marginal cost, and it is cutting this marginal revenue at this point. It is touching it at this point. This is the point of equilibrium, and this is the right point, because at this point the marginal cost is coming from below and it is cutting, and then it is going forward, it's going ahead. So this is the point at which the condition for equilibrium is satisfied. That is, marginal cost curve cuts the marginal revenue curve from below. So this is this. Okay. So this is the thing. This is the point of equilibrium. Now this is the average cost curve. When we are doing the analysis, we need to take into account the average cost curve also. So this is the average cost curve. Now these three will remain the same. This marginal cost, this demand, and this marginal revenue. This will remain unchanged in all the graphs. Only the position of average cost is going to change in the graphs that we are going to study. Okay, this is what decides the nature of profit to the firm, whether it's going to have a loss or a supernormal profit or a normal profit or whatever. That will be decided by the position of this average cost. Now let's see. So you can see over here, this is Q1 is the point of equilibrium, or we can say, since this is the line of output, this Q1 is the level of equilibrium output, OQ1. Now what is next is, from this Q1, I'm going to just show to you after this that how do we plot this graph. From this from this point, we are going to draw a line to touch this demand line, demand curve. So it's touching over here at this point, and the other line should touch the average cost. So it is touching the average cost over here. So this is the point from which we are going to draw the graph towards the line towards this side. This is the area of profit for the firm. And that was the short run. I'll just show you. I'll draw it myself on the whiteboard so that it's clear. Just 1 minute. Just see how is it plotted. So first thing is to draw the y-axis. The next is x-axis. Then we will draw the demand line. The next thing is the marginal revenue line, and this marginal revenue line is going to touch the x-axis, and it is going to go down because it becomes negative also. It becomes 0 at this point, and then it becomes 0. It becomes negative, sorry. So 0 then negative. So that is why this line is going to cross this x-axis. So this is the demand or average revenue. Then this is the marginal revenue. The next thing that we are going to draw is the marginal cost line. So this is the marginal cost line. Okay, then the next is the average revenue, average cost, sorry. So this average cost will be, it will be somewhere here. This is the average cost. Now this is the first point of equilibrium, because from this point, at this point, the marginal cost is cutting the marginal revenue curve from below. So this is the first point of equilibrium. So from this we are going to draw a line towards this side. Then taking this line further, means moving forward, we will see that this is the average cost. This is the point on the average cost which this equilibrium line is touching. So from there we are going to go to draw a line again. So this is the area of supernormal profit for a firm in the monopolistic competition. Okay, now the firm is having supernormal profit over here. It is having supernormal profit because its cost is less than its revenue. The revenue is more and the cost is less. So this is the supernormal profit. Alright. Pramod, Darshna, Afra. So this is in the short run. Now comes the long run. Now what is going to happen in the long run? So in the long run also the things will remain the same. Only the position of average cost is going to change, and which will change the position of nature of profit. Okay. So again same thing. The first thing is the demand line. The second thing is the marginal revenue line. The next thing is the marginal cost line. Then after this is the point of equilibrium. So from this, what is left is the cost line. Now average cost in this case will be something like this. Average cost. This is marginal cost. This is demand. This is marginal revenue. So this is the point of equilibrium. So from here we are going to draw a line towards this and this. So at this point the firm is having just normal profit. Actually it is not very accurately made. It should be touching this and going this side. I cannot get that shape. That is why it's not looking very appropriate. So the thing is that in the long run a firm under monopolistic competition is just going to have normal profit. Okay, it's not going to have any supernormal profit. It will just have normal profit. The reason is that, yeah Pramod, I'm just telling that because in the short run they were having supernormal profits. Short run means a very short time period, something less than a year. So when this news goes there that the people who are making this product are earning supernormal profit, so what will happen? More producers will be attracted towards the market. They will also come and enter the market to make the same type of a product. So in the long run more producers will be there as compared to the short run. So since the producers will be more will be the, yes Pramod, to some extent competition will be there. More products will be available for the consumer. So the profit will get a little distributed. Okay, so those who are making supernormal profits in the short run, in the long run they will make only normal profits. That share of supernormal profit will be taken by the other new entrants into the market. Okay, is this clear? The reason behind this? So that is why in the long run every firm will just make normal profit. Yes, this is the accurate positioning. Okay, this graph should touch this demand line, average cost, when we are talking about long run, and in the short run it will be below that line. Okay, it will be below this blue demand line, and in the long run it will be on that blue line exactly. You can see that the difference. Now it is over here on the line. So this is the point. This is the point for normal profit. So now there will be just normal profit. Now let's see the pros and cons. The best thing about monopolistic competition is product differentiation. Like washing machines, we have Samsung, we have Videocon, we have Haier, IFB, LG, so many companies, but the product is slightly different. So unlike perfect competition, products aren't generic, they vary in style, taste, etc. Then unlike monopoly, there are multiple products for varying needs. Therefore, both the producer and consumer have market sovereignty. However, like a monopoly, there is some inefficiency and there are not long-term profits. So the example for monopolistic competitions are many. Now can you give me some example of perfect competition? Perfect competition is a market in which there are many buyers, many sellers, and the products are exactly similar. Do you have any idea? Medicine? Yes, the other example is a vegetable market or a fruit market. When you go to that market, the product is available at the same price with every vendor that is there. So that is an example of perfect competition. Okay. Now when we compare it with perfect competition, what is it like? In the short run, monopolistic competition markets enjoy supernormal profits as marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. There is product differentiation unlike in a perfect competition. So there is producer sovereignty unlike in a perfect competition. Okay, that is a great. However, firms not caring about each other causes lack of efficiency in firms. Yeah, there is some wastage. Unnecessarily money is wasted on advertising, competition and all that. Firms have extra capacity. Firms produce too little. Yes, they are not working up to their maximum extent because their extent what is happening is that few people are liking their product, so their market is a little narrow, if we say it's not very wide, so their capacity is not fully utilized. Now what are pros and cons versus monopoly? There is product differentiation. Monopolies have single unique product, while monopolist competitions boost many different products. Now, very few barriers to enter the market. In case of a monopoly, there are a lot of barriers to enter into the market. Like the example that is there is the monopoly of Gulf countries in the sale of petrol. They have a monopoly in that. No one can beat them in this trade. So they have their own terms and conditions, and it is not so easy to enter into that market. Okay. Then in this, the single firm has absolute power and slightly better in the long term. This is better in the long term, monopolistic competition. Now examples are there. Soft drink companies, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. Sports shoes companies, Adidas, Nike. Then petrol stations, restaurants, hairdressers, builders. The general examples. Okay. So they all are under monopolistic competition. Now, what are the advertising techniques that are used? There are vending machines, easy access to both students and faculty, provide sports team with uniforms, physical exercise uniforms. These are just a few of the techniques which the firms which are operating in this market may adopt to attract consumers towards their product. Okay, that is it. So this brings us to the end of this. Now I will show you a video. Please watch it carefully. Okay, it's on perfect competition. Listen to it carefully.
Think about why it's so hard for a monopolistic competitor to make money in the long run. And just as a reminder, monopolistic competitor, it's much closer to perfect competition than it is to a monopoly. What it means is that you have a monopoly on your differentiated product, but eventually other people are going to make substitute products. They can't make exactly your product. It can't be identical, and it might eat into your demand. And to understand that, let us draw the demand curve for a market in which monopolistic competition is going on. I'll draw it nice and big. And so on this axis right over here, I'm going to plot dollars per unit. And so price is revenue per unit, and we'll have cost per unit and things like that. And in this axis, I'm going to have quantity produced in a given period of time. And we're going to speak in fairly general terms over here. Now, let's assume that our monopolistic competitor right over here is Apple and its iPads. Apple iPads. And I want to emphasize, I'm not making any accusations that Apple is a monopolist here. They just have a differentiated product, and so they are monopolistic competitors here. They have a monopoly in iPads. They don't have a monopoly in tablet computers or in computers in general, but only they can sell iPads. And so let's draw the demand curve in the short run for iPads, and I'll make it linear to make things simple. Let me draw a little bit better than that. So let's say the demand curve looks something like that. So that is our demand curve. And we know that if that's the demand curve, and remember, we're talking about the market for iPads, not the market for tablet computers. Apple is a monopolist in the market for iPads. So its marginal revenue will have twice the slope of this demand curve. So it will look something like that. That is Apple's marginal revenue curve. And then think about its short-run economic profits in a given period of time, whatever this quantity per period of time is. Let's draw its costs. So first let me draw its marginal costs. So its marginal costs might look something like this. That is their marginal costs. And then to do average total costs, up here, when you have very low quantity, most of your costs are fixed costs, but you're dividing it by a very small quantity. So you're going to have a very high average total cost. It's going to get lower and lower and lower as long as the cost on each incremental unit is lower than the average. And the cost on each incremental unit is a marginal cost curve. So as long as the average total cost is higher than the marginal cost curve, then that's going to be downward sloping. And at some point, they're going to be equal to each other. And now each incremental unit that you add on is going to increase the average, because each incremental unit's cost is more than the average. So it's going to cause everything to average. It's going to cause everything to average up. And this actually right over here should be the minimum point on our average total cost curve. So given the way I've drawn things, what is Apple's short-run economic profit? Well, we just have to think about its optimal quantity to produce. So it's definitely going to produce one. The marginal revenue, much higher than the marginal cost, is going to make economic profit on that unit. It's going to keep producing because that continues to be true all the way into this point right over here. And it doesn't want to produce more than that, because then the opportunity cost on each incremental unit is higher than the revenue on that. So you're going to take an economic loss. So you're going to produce right over there. And at that quantity, so I'll call that Q star right over there. At that quantity, this is the price that they can charge in the market, going into the demand curve. I just went straight up to the demand curve over there. This is the price that they can charge in the market. And their average, or you could view that as their average revenue per unit. And then we have our average cost per unit right over here, an average total cost. So this is their average economic profit per unit. And if we multiply that times the total number of units, the area of this rectangle right over here is going to give total economic profit. Total economic profit. Now, in all things, if the rest of the world sees economic profit, they're just like, wow, that's a good, people are doing better in that market than their opportunity costs. And so other competitors say, well, I can't produce iPads. but I can start making competitive products. So you'll see players like Samsung, and we are seeing this sitting here in 2012, and this is kind of a work in progress for these competitors right over here. Samsung, HTC, HP, all the tablet manufacturers, all the computer manufacturers, and they're pairing up with the operating system manufacturers like Microsoft and Google's Android, and they are making competitive products. And on top of it, they are marketing it. They are marketing it heavily. They're trying to market the products as aggressively as possible. And so as their products become more and more comparable to an iPad, or maybe even better in certain dimensions, either cost or features, and they market it heavily, in the long run, what's going to happen to Apple's demand curve? Well, at any given price, less will be demanded, and so the demand curve will shift. The demand curve will shift to the left. And so we could end up with a new demand curve, I'll do it in a different shade of blue, that looks something like that. So this is our new demand curve, or we should say maybe our long-run demand curve, after these people have made their products better and have marketed heavily. If that's the new long-run demand curve, then our long-run marginal revenue curve is going to have twice the slope of that. So it's going to look something like this. So if it's twice the slope, it's going to hit the line. It's going to go hit right about. It's going to look. I can do a better job than that. So our new marginal revenue. Let me do it in a slightly different color. I'll do it in pink. Our new marginal revenue curve will look something like that. So this is long-run marginal revenue. Long-run marginal revenue curve. And so now what is the optimal quantity for Apple to produce? Well, now it's going to make economic profit all the way until this point right over here. So now we have this new, I'll call it long run quantity. Or maybe I'll call it, let me do it in a different color. I'm using that pink too much. Long run quantity right over there. And to figure out the revenue per unit, or the price, and at that quantity, we just go up to the demand curve, our new demand curve. Remember, our long-run demand curve, it's right over there. It looks like, at least the way I've drawn it, that the price hasn't changed much. We've got the same price. But now what is our average economic profit per unit? Well, the way I've drawn it, the average total costs right over there are right about what that price is. So our average economic profit per unit goes down to 0. There is, over here we had this nice green height. Now we have no height anymore. And even though we're selling a good number of units, our average economic profit per unit is 0. So instead of an area over there, we're going to have the area of a line, which is essentially 0. So now we have zero economic profit. So the important thing to realize for a monopolistic competitor, and this won't happen overnight. I mean, some would argue that sitting here in 2012, early 2012, Apple is still generating economic profit. And it's always important to realize economic profit is different than accounting profit. Accounting profit can be positive. Economic profit can be 0 when accounting profit is positive. So if you're running, you could even have an economic loss and still have accounting profit. But some people would argue that right now Apple is still making profits above and beyond even their opportunity costs. And this is actually a work in progress right now in 2012, that the demand curve is shifting to the left, but eventually all of the economic profit will be eaten up, and there will be less incentive for all of these players to be as aggressive. So the important thing to realize with the monopolistic competitor is, sure, their curves look like a monopolist, but the competition doesn't happen in terms of supply of iPads. None of these players can supply iPads. The competitive part happens with all of these people producing substitutes and being aggressive about it and eating into the monopolistic competitor's demand.
Hello. So am I audible? This brings us to the end of the video and to the end of the class as well. So those who attended it for the first time, please make sure you are seeing the previous classes or you are referring to the books so that you can just match up with the present status. Alright, Pramod and Afra, everybody, thanks for your time. Take good care of yourself. Have a nice day tomorrow. If you are playing with colors, then enjoy your day. Have a safe and happy festival tomorrow. Good night. Take care. Bye. See you in the next class. That will be on Sunday. Alright, everybody. Okay. Thanks for your time, everyone. And you can just fill the feedback form which you are going to get at the end of the class. Alright. Okay. Bye, Pramod, Darshana and Afra.